Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Men Save Your Marriage show. My name is Terry. I'm your host. I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and now I use the lessons that I learned to coach other men on how to save their marriage before it fails. I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone would have shared with me before my marriage failed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome back. You heard the bell. That means we are in the ring and we are fighting to save your marriage. This is episode 64. I am Terry, your host. My apologies. Introduce myself. As you know, I am Terry, your host, and this is episode 64 of the Men Save Your Marriage show. And we are in the middle of the Watchtower Series. Okay, this is no judgment, no fluff, just a straight shot of clarity in the middle of your chaos. And in this series, this Watchtower series, I am kind of climbing the tower, scanning the horizon, and sounding an alarm for some of the things that I'm seeing. As you know, if you've listened to some episodes of this show, I coach, I consult, I talk with, I text, I communicate with many husbands, most of which are trying to save their marriage. And so this Watchtower series is really me sounding alarms for all of you men that are listening. And to give you some idea, that is thousands upon thousands of men. Right now, as of the last time I looked, I think we are in 25 or 27 countries. I think it's 25. We're in a country on every continent, with the exception, of course, of Antarctica. We're literally around the globe with this show. So I am hearing a lot of things from a lot of men in a lot of different places. And so this Watchtower series is me really just kind of starting to pull together some of the things that I keep hearing repeated and sounding some alarms. You need to be aware, and that's what this is. And listen, these episodes aren't soft, and they're not for the passive. These are warnings. These are wake-up calls for you. And if you're in crisis, consider this your call to arms. So today's conversation is a heavy one, and it might be the hardest episode yet. Because I'm not just coming for your behavior if this affects you, but I'm also coming for your illusion. Because today we're going to talk about pornography. That's the subject of today's Watchtower episode. The porn trap, the pornography trap. You see, porn isn't private. It's not harmless. It's a poison that you are calling a medicine. As I said, and again, this might be the hardest episode yet, but I promise you, I mean it in the best possible way. The one that says it's better than cheating, is that you? Have you reasoned this out before? Or it's not hurting anyone, or it helps me take the edge off. She's not giving me anything, so what does she expect? Listen, guys, again, I'm sounding an alarm because I have heard it all. And I'll be just brutally honest, I've said a lot of this myself. But today, I want to cut through every justification, every lie, every blind spot, and I want to lay bare in front of you what porn really is. You see, it's not a crutch, and it's not a tool. It's not a coping mechanism. It is a trap. And I can't say it any plainer than that. It is a trap. So as always, I got 3 points. We're going to push through this, but this is one of those issues that I had to speak about because I see it and I hear about it and I talk about it and I get messages about it continually. So point number 1, pornography is rewiring your brain, not relieving your stress. Now, let's get scientific before we get spiritual. Every time you engage with pornography, you click, you scroll, you climax, your brain floods with dopamine. Dopamine is the reward chemical, and it reinforces the behavior. But here's the catch when it comes to pornography. Your brain isn't just rewarding you for the climax. It is rewarding you for the secretiveness, the isolation, the fantasy instead of reality, and the novelty of it over loyalty. You're literally training yourself to prefer a fake connection over real intimacy. Now we need to pause there and think that through. Because of the release of the dopamine, that reward chemical in your brain, what is happening is you are literally rewiring your brain to prefer and to enjoy, if you will. It's rewarding you, and you prefer, your brain is teaching you to prefer the secretiveness and the isolation and the fantasy and the novelty that may be readily available on your phone or on your tablet or computer, whatever. But you're literally training yourself to prefer this fake connection over real intimacy. And it is rewiring your brain. So here's what happens neurologically. You need more and more extreme content to feel the same excitement. I hear this one all the time. Okay, when you really dig into this subject with a husband or a man that is deep into this, you will find a continual theme. I keep hearing it over and over. What maybe started very light, very just to relieve the pressure kind of a thing, because I'm not having sex, really delved into ultimately more and more deeper, significant fantasy. And you need more extreme content to feel the same excitement. Number two, you become less aroused by your actual wife. And what does that say? I just got to be honest. What does that say about us if we're more aroused by a screen and somebody on a screen than we are about a living, breathing woman standing in front of us? But this is what happens neurologically. You become less aroused by the actual physical woman in your home. And then the third one is you start associating pleasure with pixels on a screen rather than the presence of woman in your home, your wife. And then finally, fourth, your body begins to reject connection and it expects consumption. That is very, very important. We pause right there for just a moment. Your body, neurologically, you are rewiring your brain to expect and to associate pleasure with to begin to reject connection and expect consumption. That is exactly why the first one, as I told you, you need more and more extreme content because you need the consumption. Okay? And that's exactly why you have whatever hole you started going down. That's how it becomes this whirlpool that takes you deeper and deeper into more extreme content because your brain is now associating pleasure with pixels. So it needs more pixels. It needs more graphic pixels. It needs more intense or extreme pixels to feel the same excitement. And you no longer are connecting, now you are just consuming. These are just four of the things that happen neurologically when we consume pornography. And brothers, listen to me. This doesn't stay in the bedroom. Or this doesn't stay in private with yourself. It bleeds into your communication, your motivation, your spiritual strength, your ability to make eye contact with the woman you promised to love. All of this is affected. And you're not just escaping stress, you're training your mind to turn away from real life, from real struggle, from real growth. We are stunting ourselves because of this fixation and because of this draw to pornography. Pornography doesn't help you release pressure. It teaches you to run from it. And every time you do, you come back a little weaker. That's what pornography is doing to us and how it is rewiring our brain. It is not relieving stress. It is rewiring you to be a weaker man, period. Now, number 2, pornography is an insult to your wife, even if she doesn't know it. And as if I haven't already been straight enough, let me talk even straighter. If your wife knew how often you watched, what thoughts you entertained, would she feel honored? Would she feel chosen? Would she feel safe? No, of course not. Then it's not harmless. Pornography destroys trust, even in silence. You think you're keeping a secret, but you're not. Because whether or not she knows every detail, she can feel the disconnection. She senses the distance when you can't look her in the eyes. She feels the lack of pursuit when you stop trying to romance her. She tastes the absence when your body is present, but your spirit is somewhere else. Brother, your body might still be in the room, but pornography has pulled your soul into another world, and she feels the vacancy. Even if she can't name it, she feels it. You're meant to be her warrior, her protector, her covering, but you've become a consumer of images, of strangers, of other women's nakedness. You know, you don't have to lay a hand on someone else to commit betrayal. You just have to give away your gaze, and your heart follows it. You weren't created to feed on fantasy. You were created to lead a woman with strength, tenderness, and unwavering focus. And pornography is the absolute opposite of that. It trains your eyes to roam. It trains your body to hide, and your marriage is drying up. And it's teaching your wife, believe me when I say to you, again, I counsel and talk with and hear from thousands of men. Pornography is teaching your wife through you that she is not enough, even if you never say it. Now, we've talked about how pornography is rewiring your brain, and now we've talked about how it's an insult to your wife. But now let's take a pause, and in point 3, I want to talk about how we can escape the pornography trap and understand that it requires ownership, not shame. I'm not here to shame you. I'd have no right to even think about trying to shame you. I am here, though, to challenge you, to call you up from where you are, to call you out from where you have been. And I'm challenging you to escape this pornography trap, and I am telling you that the way to do that is that it requires ownership. Again, no shame, just ownership. So, let me make something clear. Again, this is not about shame. This is not about condemnation. The truth of the matter is this. You don't need another sermon telling you to feel bad. You don't need a guilt trip. You don't need anything like that. What you really need is a path out. You need strength. You need clarity. And you need a new standard. Okay? And that's what we're setting here now, is a new standard. Now, I'm going to explain to you in the next few steps how men break the pornography trap. And you can find this information in the show notes with this episode if you need to go back and read it and review it. So, how do they do it? Number 1, tell the truth to yourself first. Now, don't freak out right there, because what you just heard, what came out of my mouth, I said tell the truth to yourself first. All you heard was I have to tell somebody else the truth. No, just pause, listen to me. Tell the truth to yourself. Let's just start there. You need to be able to admit to yourself that you've made pornography a reward system for yourself. You've used it to avoid real life. You've let it rob your presence, your integrity, and your connection to your wife. You need to admit this stuff to yourself. You don't fix what you won't face, and you won't face what you keep minimizing or hiding. So the first thing you have to do is admit this to yourself. Now, here's where I would challenge you. Should you admit it to someone else? Yes. But I'm not telling you to run to your wife to admit this. I'm not telling you to announce it to the world. I'm going to give you a solution, an answer to how you can do this. First, you have to admit it to yourself. But once you've done that, you can admit it to me. Now, I want you to, if you're not driving, write this number down. 812-648-3380. That is the text number for this show, the Men Save Your Marriage show. When you get to this episode, and this episode is number 64, and when you get to the point to where you are ready to break this addiction and you are ready to climb out of this hole, then once you're ready to tell the truth to yourself, I want you to take the next step and text me. That's the number, 812-648-3380. And you can text me and just write 64, and yes, I am confronting myself. Whatever you need to write in that message, text me and let me know. Admit it to me. Tell the truth to me only after you've told the truth to yourself. So this is how you break the pornography trap. First, you tell the truth to yourself first. Number 2, you remove access like your soul depends on it, because it does. I don't care if you have to install blockers on your computer, delete the accounts, get a dumb phone instead of a smartphone if you have to. And just listen, does all this sound radical? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. But you're not dealing with some casual indulgence here. You're dealing with something that is rewiring your brain neurologically. You're dealing with an addiction that's slowly softening you, that's sedating you, and it's separating you from the life you were meant to lead. That's what you're really dealing with here. And it's a poison to the deepest depths of your soul. This is a war. So stop acting like it's a game. If you're serious, and if you're really ready to stop this, and if you're really ready to admit it to yourself, and if you really want to be able to look yourself in the mirror and become the man that you know you can be, then you need to remove access like your soul depends on it, because it does. And then finally, step 3, you start reclaiming the fire that's inside of you. You see, when you stop leaking your energy through pornography, you're gonna begin to feel an intensity inside of you that you forgot you had. Now listen, this is critical. When you feel that intensity, don't waste it. You got to use it. You got to channel it. So here's just some options, some ideas. You can use it to lift heavy things, like lift weights and build your body. You can use it to fast and keep yourself from food and create more discipline in your body and in your soul. You can lead clearly. You can speak boldly. These are things that you can use, that intensity that's going to begin to kind of boil up inside of you. You can use it for these things. You can touch your wife with strength, not just sexually, but intentionally. You see, pornography drained your power, but the power can return if you stop numbing it, stop numbing yourself, and start training it. And one final note. The opposite of pornography isn't just abstinence. It's pursuit. So this isn't about just stopping looking at pornography. It's not about just stopping using pornography for a release. What it is about is also abstinence from pornography, but it's about pursuit of your wife. It's about pursuit of your mission. It's about pursuit of your presence in the world. You weren't created to consume. You were created to build. So start building again. Use this intensity. Use the abstinence from pornography. Use that energy that will begin to boil up inside of you so that it fuels you, so that you use that to create and to build and to speak boldly and to lead properly and to pursue your wife. This is how you free yourself from the trap of pornography. All right, so before we close out with our final words, here's your orders of engagement today. This message may have been heavy, and it was. But again, this is me looking out about what I see with the men that I communicate with and just raising some alarms. But if this message struck something inside of you, don't let it fade. Subscribe to the podcast, please. Leave us a 5-star review and write a short, honest review. Okay, you don't have to join a brotherhood. You don't need to raise your hand. But what you can do by subscribing to the podcast, by leaving us a 5-star review, by writing a short, honest review, or leaving a 5-star rating, I should say, and writing a short, honest review. These things help the algorithm reach other people so you can help another man find the same truth you just heard. Just one click, one rating, one little ripple with your review. All right, gentlemen, my final words here before I send you into your day. You've been in the trap. If this hit you, if this subject hit you, and let me be honest before I finish up. Let me just be completely honest. Here's what I can tell you. The statistics suggest 55% of all married men consume pornography. So I'm talking to half of you at least. Okay? You've been in the trap long enough. You've traded your clarity for shame. You've traded the fire inside of you for this fog that you're wandering through. And you've traded your strength for silence. It's time to burn the fantasy, to destroy it, and to rebuild your foundation. No more excuses, no more secrecy, no more slow death through pornography. You're not a child and you are not a slave. You are a man. So act like it, lead like it, and live like it. The pornography ends today and the real fight begins. All right. This has been the Watchtower Series here on the Men's Save Your Marriage podcast. No judgment, no fluff, just a man speaking truth into the war zone that is your life and marriage right now. You heard the bell. We've been in the ring, and we are fighting for your marriage. I hope this gets through and you understand what pornography is doing to you. That's it for today, gentlemen. I want to say thank you. I do appreciate your attention. Thank you. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode.